Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We're going to do an unboxing today of something I strongly suspected I wasn't going to be able to get my hands on because I've resigned myself to not obtaining most of the ASL historical modules because they go for $1 million a piece. However, MMP found this in the warehouse and put it up for sale, and it's all gone already. But I managed to get one at a non-bizarre price. This is Festung Budapest. This is a historical module about the assault on Budapest in 1940, would have been late 1944, early 1945. Exact dates, I'm not sure. We'll see if we find that in the book. So we're going to unbox this and see what we get. Now, we will note that this is the big, giganto 3-inch box here. And this was released in 2011, and it is long out of print. And this is 4 maps too, by the way, so it's quite large. Although none of the actual, my understanding is, none of the actual campaigns are 4-map campaigns. Only they top out at about 2 maps. So let's open her up and see what we get. And we're having problems with the static on the shrink wrap. All right. Light box fart. All right, so we have the inventory sheet. We get 4 22 by 28, which is a weird dimension, maps, 9 counter sheets, 1 FB rules chapter, 2 chapter dividers, and 2 identical sets of scenario cards. Due to the double-sided nature of many of the scenario cards, we have included a second set of scenario cards for ease of use. Oh, okay, that actually is logical. All right, so the first thing in the box is the Festung Budapest rules chapter. I actually have a separate binder. I don't have a lot of these, but the ones I do have, I keep the historical module rules sections in a separate binder, much like Chapter H. Everybody does that with Chapter H, though, because this stuff piles up after a while, right? So let's put this stuff's actually not going all back in the box. When we're done here today, we're actually going to put it where this stuff goes, strangely enough. All right. So we're going to alternate these. Here's a counter sheet. Here's another counter sheet. Here's a map. Here's another counter sheet. Here are a big stack of scenarios. Here's another counter sheet. There's a lot of counters in this thing. So I'm not clear on whether the intention is that you will just use these unit counters when you're playing Festung Budapest, or if you will use them alongside the main counter mix. Either one of those things is possible. Here is a chapter divider. Here's another counter sheet. Here's the second set of scenario cards. Let's put that over there separately. Okay, see if we can figure this out here. Here is another chapter divider. So you got 2 of these. Festung Budapest campaign game force organizers. They're identical, but they're double-sided. So one side's for the Axis, the other side's for the Soviets. And this is one of those interesting situations where there's Hungarians fighting on both sides. So, all right. So we have the 2 chapter dividers. We'll put that with the rulebook stuff. We have so there's 4 maps, and they're a standard width but not standard length. They're a little shorter than one would typically see, and this is pretty much exactly what you would expect to see out of an ASL historical map. Hexes look maybe a wee bit bigger than they typically would be, but otherwise. And again, there's 4 of these. I believe these are Charlie Kibler maps. That's typically the case with ASL product. At this point, I don't know if ASL is going to be a retirement game for me or what, because I never get to play it, and now we have a plague that's keeping me from playing it. All right, so we have Uncles and Pups. So we're looking at January 1945 for this scenario, and it uses a portion of 1 map. Yeah, so this is why they gave you 2 cards, because this has FB1 on the front and the back half of FB14 on the back, so I could see why they did this. Which means I'm going to have to be careful putting these in binders. All right, so HKL 259 is in January of 45 again, and it's a about a third of a map, something like that. At the narrow passage, this is, wow, FB14 is actually 4 pages. Holy cow. Okay. Siesta time. We're gonna be doing some photocopying of these to get them to go into binder, I'm pretty sure. 29 January, and it's kind of the central portion of one map. Came Tumbling After, just less than one map. FB14 might be the campaign game. We'll see when we get to it. Here's FB2, The Devil's Free to Have a Try, 19 January, and again, less than one map, 7 turns. Furor Hungaricus, January. So it looks like the whole thing is January 1945. The Terror of the Castle, which is, I think, the smallest play area I've seen so far. How big is the scenario? Not small, but I've seen a lot bigger, that's for sure. For Want of Either Crust or Crumb, which is another great scenario name, actually. I think Bill Cirillo did all of these, I think. The Shooting Gallery. Return of the Black Company, February 1945. And again, similar map areas. A lot of these take up less than one map. So you could play, ooh, here's a quite a small one. This is the smallest one so far. The Black Ravens Are Flying. Not too big. There's 5, 6 Axis squads in play and 10 Soviet multi-man counters, something like that. And it's 5 turns. Randomly determine which side moves first. That's interesting. Don't Economize, 7 February 1945. The Taking of Object 59, 7 February 1945. And here's FB16, Crossing the Bloody Meadow, which is almost all of an entire map. So I'm not sure where FB14, the first page of FB14 was. But it looks like it's the biggest one. I want to see that. So let's see here. Here we go. FB14. This is page 1 of 4, and it's sort of sandwiched in between. So it looks like there's a whole lot of special stuff dealing with that particular scenario. So let's stack these together and have a look at the counters, of which there's a lot. We did say 9 counter sheets. There are, in fact, 9 counter sheets here. These are on the very traditional ASL, pretty thick brown core, pretty thick but not crazy thick brown core stock. I don't think anybody will have trouble fitting these in their clippers. Here is sheet 8 of 9. It's all markers, including some standard ASL markers, just in case you don't have enough DMs and stuff like that, which I doubt, but it's nice to have them. Here we have debris. So I believe that there's actually a randomized demolition system that you use in Festung Budapest, and the map does not reflect already wrecked terrain as it does in, say, the Stalingrad stuff. Here we have some Soviet ordnance, some air support, different levels of this of elevation, including cellars. Whoops. These are pretty nicely die cut. Very, very sensitive. Flip this over. Here we have some Germans. Whole bunch of additional German concealment markers. We have some minefields. It's on the back of the minefields. More minefields. Some more hand-to-hands. You're likely to encounter a fair amount of close combat in this particular situation. Here we have Festung Budapest. So this is interesting. This is something I haven't seen before, although I was aware that they had done it. There's actually unit symbols on this. So you have this unit here, which is 13th Panzer Division, and this is Panzer Division Feldherrnhalle. And their symbol is a little bit different from 13th Panzer. So that's interesting. And then we have here SS, a lot of SS, and Kampfgruppe Europa, or Europa. SS are signified by the SS symbols, and then the Europa guys are, looks like the red letters in the bottom right-hand corner. Something else I haven't seen. Here's Hungarian infantry, done up as Axis minors, as you'd expect. Then we have this Arrow Cross militia, which does not look very good with 6 morale. Then here we have more Hungarians. So these might be the Hungarians that are fighting on one side or the other. Axis minor. So these should be the Axis minor Hungarians, and then these would be the ones that are fighting on the Soviet side, possibly. That might or might not be the case. There's definitely no duplicates here. No, okay. These are the Hungarians that are fighting on the Soviet side right here with the Soviet border color. Then they'll use the same mix of support weapons. Okay. I'm going to have to rethink my Axis minor storage, or at least come up with its own storage for Hungarian, for Festung Budapest here, because there's a lot of stuff here. Here we have 2 huge sheets of Soviet MMC and SMCs. A lot of leaders, a lot of squads. I mean, Soviets, for early 45, that's completely expected, but a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so Festung Budapest. We have managed to dissect the entire product at this time. Hopefully you have enjoyed the unboxing. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and absolutely please do click the little bell icon to get notified when new content comes out. If you'd like to support Ardwulf Lair directly, please do share the videos around on social media. That would be great. Or if you'd like to do so more directly, you can click on either the merch store or Patreon links in the video description. Until next time, I would like to thank you for watching, and happy wargaming.